guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to go through all of the products that I'm currently planning on all of my different projects. And before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. And also, obviously, if you are following any of my project plans and don't want any spoilers, I would skip this video because I will show every kind of plan, so you will see the progress of where I am currently. But other than that, I'm just going to start by jumping into the products. So I'm going to start with eyeshadows because I have quite a lot right here and I'm trying not to drop it. The first palette I'm going to go through is my Panda palette. You've probably seen this a lot this year. This is what it looks like and I'm currently planning the whole thing, obviously. It's going quite well and I'm quite happy with my progress and I am enjoying this item. It's not my absolute favorite formula and I have mentioned that before, but I think it's decent and it's quite an easy palette to pan, so I am happy that I chose this as my palette this year. But yeah, that is the first item that I'm panning. And I always forget to mention what this is called. This is the I Heart Revolution Nudes Mini Eyeshadow Palette. And while we're on that kind of range, I have another one of their palettes that I have a shade in that I'm currently panning. This one is the Rose Gold Mini Palette and I'm not panning the whole thing. The only thing I'm panning is this eyeshadow right here. I currently have that in my Pandos Eyeshadows project. So I haven't used this eyeshadow too much yet, but I can start to see a little dip, which is good. I only rolled this in about 2 weeks ago, so I haven't used it too much. Another eyeshadow that's in my Pandas Eyeshadows project is a shade from my Lilac You A Lot palette, and the shade I'm working on is this one, which is called Zoned Out. So I've had this in my Pandas Eyeshadows project for 2 months now, so I've used it quite a lot and I do really like it, but obviously I can't really wear that with a lot of different shades that I'm panning, and especially as you will see that most of my eyeshadows that I'm currently having in and makeup products in general are very warm toned, so yeah, this is one that I haven't reached for too much, but I do like this eyeshadow. Next up we have another eyeshadow palette from Colourpop. This one is the Soul palette, and again I'm kind of panning the whole thing. I have this in my summer project pan and I decided to just roll this in to get some more use out of it, and I do have a few dips going in a few shades and I've really been enjoying wearing this. I have reached for this palette I think at least like 5 times a week since the last update, and yeah, I do really like this. I have been loving this shade New Digs right here. It's the most beautiful transition shade. I have it on in my transition today and with a few other shades. I tried to wear as many of my project pan items as possible today, so yeah, I have this on currently, but it's a beautiful palette. I'm not foreseeing myself to kind of use it up too much, but I just rolled it into the project to get some more use out of it. Go through my Juvia's Place eyeshadows that I'm currently panning. So the first eyeshadow right here is from my Tribe palette, and in here I think you can probably see from just me showing it which eyeshadow I'm panning, and it's the one here in the middle called Shaga. I really love this. I have spoken about this shade before and it's one of my absolutely favorite shades in my whole eyeshadow collection. But yeah, I do have a big dip going. I am also wearing this today a little bit on the center of my lids, and yeah, it's just a beautiful bronze shade with a little bit of a shift to it, which I absolutely love. So yeah, I've been using this quite a lot over the last month, and it hasn't been too long since I rolled this into my project. It's part of my Pan of Every Color project because this is a black owned beauty brand, but that is the first eyeshadow from Juvia's Place. Next up we have the Deuce palette, and in here I am panning the shade Crepes right here, and I think this is going to be the first spoiler in this video because I think you can see that I have pan on it. So I have hit pan on it and it is currently in my Pandas eyeshadows, so I did kind of want to include it here still because it is something that I'm currently panning. And I'm still counting my usage on it, but I have kind of hit my goal on it, so that's really great. But yeah, I love this shade. I just had a lot of similar toned eyeshadows. It looks more chocolatey brown in the actual pan compared to what it does on the eyes. It's kind of like a warm, almost corally shade, and it's a bit deeper than what I have in my crease today. But yeah, I feel like I was kind of overwhelmed with a lot of similar tones, so I'm really happy that I have hit my goal on that eyeshadow. And then the final eyeshadow palette that I have from Juvia's Place is this one, which is the Magic Mini palette, and I'm actually panning 2 shades in here. First off we have Yara right here. This one is in my Pandas Eyeshadows project, and again I haven't had it in for too long. I rolled it in last update, so I have only used it a few times, but it is a beautiful shade. I really love it. And then the other shade I have is this one called Nubia, and that is again in my Pan of Every Color project. So I haven't used it as much as the Shaga shade, but I do love that shade so much, and I have that on kind of in this part of my eyes today. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful summery warm toned yellowy gold, and yeah, definitely recommend that shade if you do have this palette. So we're getting there with all of my eyeshadows, but the next palette I have is my Modern Renaissance from Anastasia, and again I have one shade that I'm currently panning in here, which is Primavera right here. So this is again in my Pan of Eyeshadows project, and it was also rolled in my last update. I have a tiny bit going, as you can see, but I am not close to pan yet. But again, we still have about half of the month left before the next update, so I'm crossing my fingers that I will get there. But it's just a beautiful shade, and I kind of have that on here today. It's not as intense as some of the other shimmers that I reach for nowadays, but it's just a beautiful everyday shimmer, and you can use it both in the inner corner as well as on the lid, and of course depending on your skin tone. But for me it works both ways because it's kind of just in between that super light shade and that kind of mid-tone lid shade, so it works both ways. But I do love that shade and this palette, and having that in my Pan of Eyeshadows has made me kind of rediscover this palette a little bit, which is amazing. And then the last two eyeshadows that I'm panning currently are kind of these potted ones. I'm going to start with this one, which is from MAC, and this is one of my paint pots in Rubenesque. It looks like this, and I have this on as a base on my eyeshadows today, and this is in my summer project pan again, and I haven't reached for it as much as I wanted to, but I definitely has gotten a lot of use out of this. I barely had a dip in this before, but there's definitely a significant dip building now, so I'm really happy about that, and my goal isn't to use this product up, but just to get more use out of it. So yeah, I'm really happy I rolled this in, and it is a beautiful summery eyeshadow. And then the final eyeshadow that I'm currently panning is my Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in DGAF. I rolled this in quite recently as well, and this is in my Partners in Cream product pan. It's just a beautiful bronze color, and it's quite unique because it has really intense gold, almost green shift to it, but it has like a very reddish base. And I do love this eyeshadow. I actually had it in my Shop My Stash last month, and after using it I decided to roll it into my Partners in Cream product pan. And I have used this quite a few times since rolling it in, and I absolutely love this eyeshadow. So let's move on to some more base products before we move into the lip products. And the next product that I have that I'm currently panning is my Lumine eyeshadow base. This one is an eyeshadow primer, and I've had this in my Partners in Cream product all year. I do really love this product, and I use it every single day. But as you know, if you ever panned eyeshadow primers, they last forever. So it is a really good staple, and I'm happy to have this in a project currently. And the next product is also in the same project. This is my Cabral from Benefit. I rolled this in last update, and I haven't used it too much yet. Of course, this is my main eyeshadow product that I go for now, and I'm wearing it today quite lightly though. I do really love this item, but I'm kind of getting over the brow pomades, but I want to get it used up in my collection. And as you have kind of noticed, this is used a deluxe size sample, so I'm hoping to finish this up. But again, as you know, if you have a panned pomade, they take forever to use up. I have one foundation that I'm currently panning. This is the Shiseido UV Protective Liquid Foundation, and I have mine in the shade Dark Ivory. This is a foundation that I have to mix with other ones because it is basically my summer shade, and being in quarantine I haven't been out as much as I would usually in summer, so I'm not as dark as I would be normally either, but it has worked really well darkening my kind of everyday foundation a bit to match me currently. And I'm hoping to have this finished up, but it's really hard to know because I only use about 2-3 drops every time I use this product, and it's a complete opaque packaging as well, so I don't know, it's hard to kind of gauge where I am with this, but I feel like it's getting lighter, and I'm hoping to finish this up by the end of the project that it's in, which is my summer product pan. The next product is my full cover concealer from Makeup Forever. I think this one is in shade number 6, and I'm currently panning this in my Pan of Every Color. This is a concealer that I don't reach for every single day because it's not really the perfect color for me for my under eyes, and it's also quite heavy for that, so I mainly use this to spot conceal. But I have actually gotten a surprising amount of use out of this since I rolled it in, so I'm really happy that I included this in the project. Next up is my bronzer that I've been using basically every single day. I've really been loving this, and this is my Bourjois bronzing primer. This is basically just a cream bronzer. It looks like this. This one is in my summer project pan again, and yeah, I've just been loving using this. And what I've been doing a lot is just kind of putting this on here in this area and then applying one of my lipsticks as a cream blush, and that's also what I'm wearing today. And then I kind of just fill out these areas where the bronzer and the blush isn't on with my foundation, and that way it kind of been a bit more lightweight than my normal routine, and it's been perfect for summer and just staying at home. So yeah, I've been absolutely loving this product, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to use this up before the finale of my summer product pan. The next product that I have is probably the least favorite product I'm currently panning. That is one of my enhanced clicks from Cover FX in the shade Bubbly. This one I don't really like because it is a cream highlighter, but it's quite a firm formula, which I don't appreciate. And the shade is also a bit too dark for me, so I can't use it kind of on my cheekbones. So what I've been using this for is on my body mainly, but the stick is actually falling apart a little bit, so it's been really hard to use because it just kind of goes all over the place. So I'm not really sure how I will use this up, but it is a product that I can get use out of, especially now in summer, but it's definitely not my favorite. I have two products from MAC that are also both in my pan of every color. The first one I have is my Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle. This is a highlighter, and I have gotten so much use out of this one. I had pan on this, I think, end of last year, and I've just been expanding that, and my goal is to use this one up. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, and I know that I already expanded the pan quite a bit since rolling it into that project. But this area right here is still quite thick, so I'm not sure if I will be able to use it up. But I am using it every single day, so I'm doing my best to do so, but we just have to see at the end of that project. The next one is my Extra Dimension Skin Finish in the shade Fairly Precious. I think this is actually marketed as a highlighter, but I use it as a blush, and I do have this on right here. Again, I am wearing one of my lipsticks as a cream blush, but I kind of top this off just in this area here to kind of blend my bronzer, highlighter and blush together. And it's absolutely beautiful, and it's such a beautiful summer shade as well for blush. And yeah, it's actually one of my favorite products in my collection. The final base product that I have is my Post-it tint from Benefit. I rolled this into my Partners in Cream project, last update, and I do use this as a cream blush, so that's why I included it in the base product category and not the lip product category, although you can use this as a lip product. I have actually really liked putting this in, and I wasn't sure how I would like having this as a cream blush, because I never really use these as cream blushes. I only use them on my lips, but I actually feel like I prefer them as cream blushes, which is kind of surprising. And I do have another full size of this in Lolly Tint and a mini in Shasha Tint, so I'm hoping to get some more use out of those as well once I finish this up. So we only have 3 products left to go, and those are all lip products. And the next product is my matte lipstick from Colourpop. This one is in the shade Solo, and it's not my favorite to wear right now because it's quite a cool tone pink, but I do like this kind of blotted out on the lips, but it's not as summery as the other colors that I'm panning, so this has kind of went on the wayside recently. But yeah, it is a beautiful product. I've just been panning it since the beginning of the year, so I'm getting a little bit tired of it. The next product is the one I'm currently wearing, and this one is one of the Rimmel Apocalypse lip lacquers in the shade Luna. I absolutely been loving this, and it has been my go-to lip product now in summer. Yeah, it's just stunning, and you can see it on my lips obviously, but it's getting quite old in my collection, which is why I'm currently panning it. And then the very last product that I have is my Revlon lip butter in the shade Tutti Frutti. This is the lipstick that I talked about using as a cream blush, and that's honestly mainly how I used it. It's quite an intense orange shade on the lips, but I have used it on my lips, like I said, a few times too, but it's mainly been a cream blush for me. So I absolutely love it like that, and you can obviously see it on my cheeks again. But that is my very final product that I'm currently panning. So that, you guys, was all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and otherwise I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.